Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little different. I'm finally going to be doing another story time, and this story time is about to be why I cut my best friend of 10 years off. So let's get straight into today's story time. So a little background info, me and F ended up meeting in the end of kindergarten because I had this one friend who we are going to call Emily, and me and Emily were super close. And then she told me about F, and even though I really didn't want to meet her, she was like, okay, well, can you at least please meet her? Like, you're going to meet her. So I'm like, you know what, fine, whatever. There's really no way of getting out of this. So one day on the bus, because we all lived in the same neighborhood, she introduced me to F, and we all kind of hit it off, and we became a little trio. And if you guys know, trios don't work. But everything was pretty much fine until the time that COVID ended up hitting, because a couple years before that, both of them ended up moving into the same neighborhood and out of my neighborhood, which I was kind of bummed about at the time, but looking back, I'm kind of glad it happened that way, because if it didn't, it would have been super awkward if they still lived around me after all of the stuff that they both did. Like in the summer of 2020, we had this group chat on Snapchat, and it was just the three of us. And they would always make plans without me in it, and they would basically just act like I didn't exist sometimes unless they wanted something or needed me to take them somewhere, because my mom's the cool mom out of all of their parents, and she would literally do anything for me, but my ass was not having any of that. No, I'm not about to sit here and do things for you, but half the time you act like I don't even exist, and when you do talk to me, you're ignorant. I'm just not going to do that. I honestly don't know why I didn't drop them right there. I guess I was just too nice at the time. Now I'm done taking people's shit. Well, fast forward to September 2021, when me and Emily were dating. I know, literally what a plot twist. Me and Emily dated for a bit. It was only like 3 weeks, honestly, because she ended up doing some really screwed up shit. And then she dumped me in fear of her parents finding out, which eventually they did, when the cops came knocking on their door. And then she got charged with a restraining order. But we don't talk about that here, you know? Just the everyday shit. So basically, the only friends I had around this time were my current boyfriend. Literally love him. Oh my god. And then I also had F, because me and F would keep in contact, and we would video call sometimes at like 3 o'clock in the morning when we were both bored and needed someone to talk to because we both had anxiety and couldn't sleep. Or occasionally we would hang out. I think we only hung out once though, because like, I'm that type of person where like, I'd rather sleep than make plans with someone. If you're not my boyfriend, I'm not going to be so eager to hang out with you. Well, fast forward to the very end of June 2022, and me and Aiden are still together, and we're close. We're closer than ever. And I can't technically say that because we are even more close now, and I don't even know how. Like, we're basically inseparable. And it's to the point where, like, I'm surprised he doesn't just move into my house, because he's always here, or I'm always over there, and we always do things together. But that's beside the point. And so basically the 4th of July was coming up, and there was going to be a 4th of July party at my house. As always, because my parents always had the 4th of July party at my house, we would never go anywhere. That's just how it's been for years. So when she gave me the idea of inviting F, and then obviously I was already going to invite my boyfriend, I'm like, well, it's not even a problem, because my boyfriend is my boyfriend. Like, he wouldn't do that shit. And I know every girl says that, but it's like, you guys really don't know this man like I do. So I didn't think I'd actually have to worry, you know? But turns out, I'm wrong. Why wouldn't I be? So the 4th of July is basically here in basically no time. And my dad gets all of... move these keys real quick. He gets all of his stuff outside. He gets it all set up. He brings my literally over 100-pound piano down the stairs without killing himself somehow. I don't even know how. That dude literally has, like, arms of steel, though, so I mean. But the party wasn't going to start around, like, 4, so we still had a lot of time to spare. So my boyfriend had a few things to do, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do a few things. But F had previously asked if she could come around 1. So 1 comes around, and she shows up, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Because no one's here yet. It's boring. Aiden's not going to be here for a little bit. And keep in mind, I had created a little group chat between the three of us before the 4th of July party because even though they had math class together in 8th grade, they really didn't know each other. So I'm like, okay, let me introduce you guys. And overall, there was really no red flags between both of them. Because, as I said, my boyfriend is my boyfriend. We literally love this dude. We stand this dude. We respect this dude. He is literally my life. So eventually Aiden shows up and we're all chilling. We're all hanging out on my front porch and we're talking and everything is going good. And we're basically talking about what Emily did to me and F because Aiden already knew all the tea. I told him everything. I'm like, listen, this is what happened. And funny thing is that, remember how I said me and Emily were dating? Well, she basically tried to get me and Aiden to separate because we were friends at the time. And I wasn't planning on taking it any further because I was already with Emily. But she's like, I don't want you talking to him. He likes you. I don't want you talking to him. Yeah, well, I get it. It's a boundary. But, after what she did to me and beyond broke my boundaries, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk to him. And we broke up, 2 days later anyway. So it's not like I was going behind her back. But eventually things do start to take a little turn because I was trying to talk to Aiden and join in on their conversation because, it's the three of us. And this is why trios really don't work, besides all the other shit that could happen. Because it's when the two people are busy talking, the other person has no one else to talk to. And that's basically how it was. I would try to say something to Aiden, and F would be, completely blocking me out and brushing me off. And then she'd be like, yeah, well, anyways, do you know this? Do you know that? Do you do this? Do you like this game? And it's whatever. So I'm kind of annoyed at this point, but I'm not thinking anything of it. But I get even more annoyed when we go on a walk because the party still wasn't starting yet. We had 15 minutes till the party started and people were going to show up. But she, Aiden basically couldn't say nearly a word to me because the whole time we were walking, and we walked for literally 10 minutes, she was up his ass. Talking 24/7, and I'm like, oh my god. Can you shut up? But, I didn't want to say that because I liked her, and, I actually thought she was a genuine friend at the time, so I wasn't going to be ignorant to her or say anything about it. So I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Whatever, I'm going to let it go. Well, that was until later in the party when people did start to show up. As I said earlier, I was going to play piano, so my dad obviously brought my piano out. And basically, my boyfriend takes my piano cord as a joke because we joke. We joke around. He wasn't doing it to be a dick. He was doing it to joke around. And she was literally play fighting him. Putting her hands all over him. Literally in front of me too. And in front of everyone else. She literally made herself look like such a big ass. And then she embarrassed me. So I was really pissed. But it was whatever. And then she was chasing him around and everything. And I was you know what? I'm going to chase him around too. So eventually I get him to give me my cord back. And that was that. It was a joke. Nothing serious. Whatever. But it was just annoying how she was play hitting him and everything. And all that stuff. It was bro, stay in your lane. Sit down. Well, the three of us are in the house alone. I'm making mozzarella sticks for myself because I am a super picky eater. When I say picky, I only eat 5 things. And so I was making myself some mozzarella sticks and we were all chilling. And then she was play fighting and everything. And it was just bro, you gonna stop or what? But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be rude. So I'm okay, whatever. I'm just gonna deal with it. But the annoying thing was she kept mentioning how she was I just really want a boyfriend or girlfriend. And we're sitting there yeah, we can hook you up with one. And then in my head, I'm thinking, he doesn't like you, dude. If he liked you, he would be with you, not me. So, keep that in your mind. So, eventually my food's done and I let my stomach settle. And then it's time we get in the pool. So, I go into the bathroom, change my bathing suit. She goes in after me and changes into her bathing suit. And then the three of us get in the pool. And the whole time, she's literally all over him. She's play hitting him. She's literally trying to fucking tackle him in my fucking pool in front of everyone. So I'm you know what, whatever. I'm not going to deal with this shit. And plus, my parents were up my ass. And they're you're going to perform yet? You're going to perform yet? So I'm you know what, fine, whatever. I'm going to go perform. go the way I was expecting. No, and I'll tell you why. Literally, Aiden was trying to record me, right? Well, listen to this bullshit. While he was trying to record me, and, well, my mom and everyone else was trying to record, she literally would not stop play hitting him and, like, being all over him and yelling and stuff. And so I was getting so pissed off, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, I was like Maddie during that scene in Euphoria, you know?
Oh, this bitch needs to be put down.
Well, while I'm performing, she leaves. Thank God. That's that, right? Well, my dumb ass, after confronting her there that night, and she was like, I just am really socially awkward. I'm like, okay, you know what? I know you were flirting, but I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm not going to sit here and argue with you over this. So I basically left it at that. But then my dumb ass keeps group chat. And not only do I keep the group chat, guess what else I do? I throw another party at the end of the year. Well, not end of year, but like the end of summer, because school's going to start back up soon and I'm not going to have enough time because I have 2 goals in mind and a lot to focus on, and I do a lot in my spare time. Like, I have a lot of hobbies, basically. And so I'm not going to have time to sit here and hang out with, like, F. So at the party, she was basically all up his ass again. Like, she would not leave him alone, but eventually she did. And not only did she do that shit, but she also tried to get me to steal my parents' alcohol for her. And now, my parents love me and everything, but don't get me wrong, they would not take that shit. Understandably. So I'm like, no. I'm literally not going to be disrespectful as fuck and steal their alcohol for you. And I told her that. I literally said those exact words. And then she was like, I'm just really craving alcohol. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, if you want to drink, then go home and drink. You're not. No. That's not a line we're crossing here, sis. Well, eventually, the party was a miss at first. But eventually everything got better. And then we were all having a super good time. And me and Aiden snuck off for a minute just to kind of talk about things because she was annoying the fuck out of him. He was like, dude, like, she's literally up my ass. And I'm like, I know, I see, and I'm sorry. But even my mom noticed that. And the funny thing is that at the 4th of July party, when she was all up his ass, everyone noticed. And so my mom literally pulled me aside right after she left and was like, dude, I had to be careful. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And as my mom said, it's always the best friends that try to go for your boyfriend. Always, you know? I mean, I've had a few okay friends that haven't done that shit, but it's just like, oh my god. Like, get your own man, dude. Eventually she leaves around like 8, and then people leave like shortly after. Whatever. I was tired anyways. I was tired of having people over. The only person I really would have let stayed is obviously Aiden, as you've probably already guessed. But like, he had to go home for the night, so I'm like, okay, well, everyone can leave. Everyone can clear the fuck out. I want to go to bed. Okay? I want to go to bed. Like, yeah, it was nice seeing all you guys, but I think it's time for me to get some sleep because my brain has had enough. I've had enough of all these people. Get them out of my face, please. Like, I like you all. You guys are all cool, but there's only so much one person can take in a day. And I had exceeded that limit. Fast forward to school starting, and I really didn't think this was going to continue to be a problem because, I mean, as I said, I was not going to have time to hang out with people other than Aiden because, as I said, we're literally inseparable. We can't go, like, 5 minutes without texting each other, even though, yeah, it is nice to have a break sometimes. So, school starts, and I was kind of bummed because I didn't have lunch with Aiden. I didn't have any classes with him, actually, because we are not in the same grade. He is in a grade lower than me. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, well, whatever. But ironically, his ex, oh my god, I should do a whole story time on her. Oh my god. It's bad. It's bad. And then F had lunch, and they made this little table, right? And, you know, I was like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I didn't really care about his ex or anything being there. It was mostly F because of, like, all the shit that happened during the summer, you know? I didn't really think it was going to be that much of a problem until the one day we are walking literally to the buses together, and then she's literally joking around, telling him to go unalive himself, and that's when I get pissed, because it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know? So I'm like sitting there and I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? I don't even know why or how I let this shit slide for so long. Like, I was pissed off. Like, she was saying some shit and doing some shit. Like, she would basically bully him and call him names 24/7. Would never do it when I wasn't there, because, you know, that's just how that shit goes. And then she was also, like, basically telling him that the only reason he's alive is because of her. That's not what he tells me, but okay. So I'm like, you know what? Obviously, I'm not going to believe this bitch. Obviously, I'm not going to let this bitch get to me. But I'm obviously not going to let it fully slide either. I'm not going to let it slide at all, actually. Because I was to the point where it's like, I'm 15. I have only a certain amount of days until I'm 16. And once I turn 16, if I get in a fight and hurt someone bad, charges can be pressed. And it's not like I had intentions to, like, bring her harm. It was just like, if she kept doing this and was going to give me a problem about it when I confronted her and things got physical, you know? Because it's like, I have shit to live for. And I'm literally not going to throw away my whole future over one bitch. Over any bitch at all. Matter of fact. Why should I? I mean, my life is my life. Like, I'm not going to let people interfere with it like that, you know? Like, I have goals, and my goals don't stop for no one. So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, something's going to get done. So basically, my actual guidance counselor, because I have two, especially after my horrible freshman year, I have two guidance counselors, and my one was out because the main one that I talked to was out because of reasons. So we had a fill-in, and me and this fill-in, let me tell you, like, oh my god, we stand. She is literally such an amazing guidance counselor. I was telling her this shit, and she was like, bro, she deadass said, you need to drop that bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? Perfectly agree. So I'm like, at this point, I'm just ready to drop her, because not only that, but let me tell you guys a little something. So they had this little friend group, right, that I really wasn't a part of, because I didn't have 4th period lunch. I had 5th period lunch. So I really wasn't a part of this friend group. I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, so it basically consisted of Aiden, F, this girl, we're just going to call her this girl, because, I mean, she really has no purpose in this story, and I literally have no problems with her. Like, I don't even know her, honestly. So we're just going to call her this girl. No hate, girly. I don't even know you. And then my boyfriend's ex. And there wasn't beef between me and her until some shit happened. Which, by the way, Monday at school, we're going to have a long-ass conversation, by the way. Oh my god. But basically, it was them. And then this new girl transferred to our school, and we're going to call her L. And so L and F hit it off really well. And so I'm like, you know what? Good. I'm glad she's getting new friends. But it was to the point she would barely answer my texts. And it's like, you know what? And, like, she would basically kind of ignore me sometimes. Like, you know what? Okay. Now it's making me really want to cut her off more. Like, the problem is not that she has other friends. Like, girlie, no. No. That's just ridiculous, honestly. Like, that is literally childish shit right there. Mad because they have other friends. Like, what? And so I'm like, you know what? That's not the problem. But it's just, like, the problem that between what she's continuing to do to my boyfriend, and then now she's starting to ditch him. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit. I'm not. But it's like, I had mixed feelings on the ditching thing, because it's like, yeah, I was just also proving how even more fake she could be. But it was like, also at the same time, maybe it's good that she's not around him because of the way she treats him, you know? Like, I had no problem with them being friends until she started saying all this horrible shit to him and putting shit in his head about me. And it's like, okay, girl. Okay. And obviously I wasn't going to let that shit slide. And then the one night, me and my boyfriend are hanging out as usual, and he was telling me that while I wasn't at the lunch table earlier, she was basically calling him names he didn't want to be called and basically fucking harassing him. And I'm like, stop. Hold your damn horses. What the fuck did you just say? And he was like, yeah, she was literally basically doing all this shit. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to say something. He's like, no, don't. And I'm like, okay, well, it's bullshit. And so he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, yeah, I know too. So I'm like, obviously I'm going to say something because it's bullshit. So the next day, I left class at the very end of third period to go wait for all of them to go to the lunch table fourth period. And so I walked my happy ass down to the lunchroom because it's literally like a freaking second walk. I sit my ass down, cross my legs, and I wait for her to walk in because I'm gonna say some shit. When she walks in and she sets her bag down, I slam my phone on the table, I look up at her and I say, we need to talk. And I stand up. And I made sure to have a hair tie on my wrist just in case anything went wrong because I was ready to fight. Like, no one fucks around with this dude, okay? Okay. So I'm like, okay. Why the fuck are you literally bullying him, calling him names he doesn't want to be called after he specifically tells all of you not to call him that? And I look at every single one of them, I'm like, you bitches better not say a word. You better not say a word or you're getting next. And so she's like, I fucking wasn't like he was. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. I'm not going to rule out. But I'm like, no, that's not what I'm hearing. And I don't know what the fuck is actually going on, but, like, you better stop calling him names and you better stop being a dick to him or we're going to have a problem. Like, I don't have any nails on. I don't have my nails done. And I'm keeping my nails undone just in case if you want to keep going. And I just walked right fucking past her. And then she didn't really talk to me that much after that. And it's like, I really don't care, you know? Like, if someone tells you not to call them something or say something to them like that, then you don't do it. End of story. So I'm like, I really don't care what this bitch thinks. You know, like, she's done enough to prove to me that I don't even know if I want to be her friend anymore. And that's where I'm getting a bit conflicted. Because, yeah, she helped me confront Emily with the fucked up shit she did. And, you know, she did things for me and everything, and she was there for me. But, like, at the same time, if she's gonna treat me like shit, then why should I stay? Why? You know? So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna stay in this friendship any fucking longer. And the last straw I had was when, ultimately, she just completely fucking ditched everyone. I didn't really care that she ditched my boyfriend's ex because me and her always collide. It's not even the fact that she's his ex. It's the fact that the shit she says, the shit she does. And recently, she really pushed my buttons, so it's like, you know? So I'm like, basically, on fucking watch. Like, if it's not one person, it's another. Like, if it's not me, it's someone else. Like, there's never a break. So the one day during 5th period, I end up going down to the guidance counselor, and I tell my literally goat of a guidance counselor, and I'm like, yo, listen, this is what is going on. I'm going to confront her, and I'm going to stop this friendship, because I don't think it's the right thing for either of us anymore. Like, first of all, she's moved on. Like, great, she's found new friends. But it's like, with the way she's been treating my boyfriend, that is where I draw the line, you know? Like, I don't fuck around when it comes to him. And, yeah, like, at the end of the day, you can only do so much for other people. But it's like, you know, I'm not about to sit and let this shit happen. So I'm literally just about ready to drop her. And she's like, yeah, honestly, I think that's a good idea. You should just drop her. And so I go to walk out of the guidance counselor, and I see her, and I'm like, oh my God. I really want to say something, but the problem is I don't have enough time. I don't. I literally don't have enough time to say anything because class literally starts in literally not even a minute. So I hurry up to lunch, and I basically sit there and I text her, and I tell her, like, I text the group chat so my boyfriend can see too exactly what I said. And I'm like, yo, like, honestly, I'm done being your friend. I mean, yeah, you were a good friend for a while, but with the way you've been treating Aiden lately, I can't deal with this shit anymore. And I'm sorry to come off as bitchy, but it's like, there's only so much you can take until you gotta set your foot down. And honestly, it seems like you moved on with your other friends anyways, and I'm not gonna hold that against you because you can have other friends. But it's like, I don't know, like, you just been brushing me off even more and saying all this horrible shit, so I think it's time that our friendship ends. And she was literally over here like, well, first of all, I wasn't flirting with your boyfriend. I'm literally, like, I don't even fucking like him. And I'm like, okay, well, there's that. And I was like, okay, well, whatever, bye. And so I ended up taking the screenshots because gotta have them receipts. And then I blocked her, and I feel like I kind of could have been a little bit nicer about it. But at the same time, she was really breaking me and my boyfriend's boundaries and treating him like shit. And I have absolutely no reason to let that shit slide. I really, really don't miss her. Like, I don't. I mean, I've moved on to bigger and better things. And not only that, but it's just like, I really don't have that much time in my life right now. Like, my life is really busy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it was kind of a wild ride, but I will be posting consistently a lot. Hopefully, again, sometime soon. My life has just been really crazy lately. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have or had good Easter, depending on whenever I get this video up. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, bye guys!